Origins and Somrusuji reaction. This is Miscellaneous Miss Arachne by the channel of Sarcastic production. She's snarky, she's subversive, she's completely incapable of catering to an audience. Everyone say hello to the mother of spiders and make sure to admire her confidence in her work while you still can. Yeah. I think this is still Greek mythology because the thumbnail, it looks like Athena's involved. I don't know. So I guess it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I like Greek mythology videos. They're always different from all other mythology. Whenever you see any mythological video, any god related video, you usually think that there's some kind of a lesson to it. I think that's also the case with Greek mythologies, but it's hard to pin down what the lesson is there, since lots of those myths are just chaotic and hardly you can find any lessons in them. But it's still fun. It's soap, daily soap opera type of shit. It's always fun. Remember people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the week Sunday, there's a link in the description with all my videos. Check out the cast of the different playlists like OSP reaction. I upload lots of videos in 24 hours. So you might have missed some of the videos that I uploaded. You might not have got a notification for it. So check out the playlist, it's all there. Check out the playlist too, like Internet Historian, CGP Grey, Tier Zoo, History. And yeah, let's do this one.
It's fun to talk shit on the Greek gods. Oh man, that's Zeus, am I right? Can't keep it in his pants to save the lives of countless mortal women and children.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, that Apollo. He's almost worse than Zeus, because all it takes is him falling in love with you to get a one-way ticket to Deadsville. And oh man, Aphrodite.
Yeah, like I said in the other video, about Apollo. Is it that surprising that son of Zeus, after, whatever Zeus been doing his whole life, he didn't even left his own daughter Persephone alone. After seeing all that shit, and I also, speculated with the things were going that he probably also molested her daughter Artemis. But yeah, I don't know. So is it really that, something to wonder that Apollo turned out that way? That anybody who falls in love with Apollo, anybody who Apollo falls in love with ends up dying.
And we think today's shippers are obsessive. Of course, this all works with the benefit of hindsight, and the fact that, this is a very distant religion to most of us. Broadly speaking, these aren't our gods, and that makes it okay to get a few cracks in. The situation was very different if you actually lived in ancient Greece, and no story demonstrates that better than Arachne. Now, Arachne is just your average Lydian maiden, with one
Yeah, I know it's not just about distance, God, or anything. The story is just ridiculous, regardless of hindsight. What Aphrodite does is just chaotic. I mean, even at the time, people would have known that. But I guess the way people thought at the time, the way people perceived of gods, what it is to mean to be a god, I guess that might have been different than what we think of today. I guess, yeah.
Standout quality. She's a hell of a weaver. This on its own isn't too noteworthy, but Arachne decides to up the ante by bragging about how she's such a good weaver, she's even better than Athena. And much like saying you're hotter than Aphrodite, claiming that you surpass the gods in equality.
Athena is a weaver? What? She's a god of war or something like that. So she became a weaver too, apparently. She's god of weaver too. Damn.
That was presumably given to you by the gods is not a great idea when those gods evidently have a lot of spare time to spend cooking up suitably karmic punishments for your shenanigans.
Yeah.
So Athena catches wind of Arachne's boasting and pops down in mortal disguise to gauge the severity of the situation. When she suggests that maybe Arachne should dial back the blasphemy a little, Arachne responds by saying, "Ha! If Athena wants me to stop so bad, she should come down here and make me. Let's fight."
So Athena literally sent a woman, old woman. Okay, it is her, but still, she literally pulled out that mobster thing right here, like sending one of your goons to talk up to her, like, you should really show some respect. You'd be shame if something happens to your art, something like that. She sent an old lady to give that message, like, okay, you need to be respectful.
File that under things you should probably never say ever, just to be safe. So Athena takes that suggestion, and she and Arachne set up a weaving competition to see who's really the better creator. So Athena weaves a big tapestry primarily showing a different myth entirely, wherein she and Poseidon competed for the honor of naming the city of Athens. You can probably guess that she won, but the tapestry shows how she won. Where Poseidon caused the miraculous creation of a saltwater spring, Athena created a much more practical olive tree and won over the citizens that way. She further embellishes the tapestry with 4 more myths, each one demonstrating how much of a bad idea it is to sass the gods and/or claim superiority. authority over them. Arachne, meanwhile, demonstrates her spectacular lack of situational awareness by using her tapestry to beautifully render over 15 separate occasions wherein Zeus and or Poseidon dropped everything to bang random women, more than half the time shaped like an animal while they did it. Hilarious, right? Well, not to Athena, who has to live with these people.
Alright, so let me get this straight. Athena, did that tapestry to basically show that you're being disrespectful to me by showing all this, about how Athens came to be and all that. And while Arachne is just like, you see your basically your father and uncle banging everybody that moves. Some part of me thinks that she knows that Athena is involved, and obviously Olympians always get their way, and people always turn out worse for wear whenever they go against Olympians. So I feel like she knew that, and she just wanted to rub it in her face, like, you know what, if I'm going, I'm gonna stick it to you or something like that. But obviously that's not the case, but I like to think that must be the case. But wait a minute.
Separate occasions
Yeah, look at
wherein
that.
Zeus and or Poseidon dropped everything to bang random women, more than half.
Wait a minute, is that Persephone? And that snake is probably Zeus, right? Because that's how the story goes. Persephone's mother, I guess, hid her in some kind of a cave to make sure nobody comes after her or something like that. Or any Olympians don't come after her or something like that. While Zeus, her father, basically became a snake and sneaked into the cave and, I guess, did things. Let's just say, I think that's what that is. Yeah.
Half the time shaped like an animal while they did it. Hilarious, right? Well, not to Athena, who has to live with these people and probably doesn't want to see a graphic visualization of her dad and uncle banging everything that moves. While she admires Arachne's skill and execution, she finds her lack of audience awareness disturbing and
Considering your audience is essential when creating any form of art.
responds by destroying the tapestry and whacking Arachne on the head with her weaving.
Wait a minute, is it? Is that the requirement in art? I don't think it is, right? I mean, at the time in the Greece, it might have been a thing, but that's not how art goes, right? Art is just what you are feeling, and you just, I guess, show to the world by, I guess, whatever way, I guess, drawing or whatever. You show to the world how you're feeling. So basically, whether people get it or not. I mean, that's how art is. You're not supposed to please people. You're supposed to make art, I guess. And over time, maybe people will appreciate it, whatever.
Shuttle, presumably while yelling, "What were you thinking?" to emphasize the point. When Arachne takes this critique
Wait a
about
minute, this is just addition by Red here? Or is this how the story goes? He actually hits her in the head?
presumably while yelling, "What were you thinking?" to emphasize
This
the
is
point.
funny.
When Arachne takes this critique about as well as any artist handles their first really cutting criticism, Athena takes pity on her and saves her life, kind of, by transforming her into a spider. Don't feel too bad, Arachne. You were just ahead of your time. Also, it's maybe not a good idea to show your not safe for work god fan art to one of the only 3 Olympians who explicitly want nothing to do with that business.
Yeah. So apparently, calf press sells full on tapestries. It's also normal. That's yeah, okay.
No,
If you look at those tapestries and thought, man, I want to have a poster, perhaps a stylist associated that has that design, then I ordered them to the shops. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I want something like that. That was this awesome painting, especially about Zeus and Poseidon basically banging everything that moves. I'm pretty sure that this doesn't ship in India, but I would love to have that. I wonder which tapestry would be more popular. Hey, come on, really? It's the Zeus and Poseidon one. It's Arachne's one.
The spider web is tangled up with
Yeah, okay, in spider. Some useful context. Ovid, who wrote the Metamorphoses, really liked the painting the gods as irrational, flawed and jealous of humanity, punishing humans by stripping them of their skills and their identity, probably because he was grumpy about being exiled by Augustus. And he was projecting like crazy, yeah.
lost my head.
All the myths he used pre-existed the Metamorphoses, but he rewrote them to be more unfair, which is why in the most common version of the myth, Athena spontaneously displays the shocking out-of-character trait of envy. Yeah, I mean, Athena suddenly becoming, showing like she's envy is just weird. I don't think, in any of the stories or anything I've heard about Athena, where she ever portrays being jealous or envious of anyone. As far as I know, obviously. rather than destroying Arachne's work due to her lack of respect.
All the stupid things I'd say.
She's god of war, right? The more victorious type of war or something like that. So obviously her trait should be more respectful, honor and type of things. Her being jealous and envious feels weird. The structure of the tale is the classic Greek hubris tragedy, yeah, where a hero thinks too highly of themselves and is reminded painfully that they are not gods. But Ovid had to go and make it all personal, grumpy, which is why his version makes no sense in the greater canon. I hate it when people ruin mythologies like that. I mean, just, don't take his version seriously, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah, this story, at first I was just thinking, like, what's the point of these stories again? If you go through the details, how this story, pan out, it's just funny, isn't it? It's just chaotic. But obviously on top, the obvious message is this: don't be all hubristic and compare yourself with the gods or something like that. That's the story. Yeah. But still, how the details go around, like Athena and Arachne have this kind of competition. Well, Athena basically draws all that, like how Poseidon and she had a competition or whatever, and show how you shouldn't, compare yourself to gods or to be more respectful. Arachne is like, you see that, your father and uncle basically bangs everyone. I feel like Arachne is did that just to, I guess, poke at her. Obviously, that's probably not the case because she was really heartbroken in the end and tried to kill herself. But yeah.
I never meant.
Yeah. Alright, people, that was Miscellaneous means Arachne. Another Greek mythology. It was fun. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the Rick Sandy. There's a link in the description. Check out the cast, please check out the end cards, and I'll see you next time.